The prosecution claims that Terry got upset with Baker because he thought she was dancing with another man at a bar. An hour after they left that bar, Baker was dead. The first witness of the day is on the stand, Deputy Brian Polito. He is a K-9 handler. His dog, a bloodhound named Champ. Let's go in live and listen in.
Probably 8 months after I got Champ, I went to Tallahassee, and the Jimmy Rice Foundation puts on a school, a tracking school up there, and I went through that. It was a week-long school with other trainers from all over, civilian search and rescue trainers and other law enforcement.
And so Champ was with you during that experience?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yep.
All right. You've told us about the experience you had with Champ, and you told us about how Champ worked up with a specific scent. So then you were able to, I presume, then you were able to corroborate or verify that Champ was able to do what you were wanting Champ to do. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Since you, does Champ live with you?
Yes, sir.
Since Champ has been on duty, can you give us any estimation as to how many different times Champ has been asked to follow a specific scent?
For a call or a call and training combined?
Let's talk about calls.
Okay, for calls, we've had at least 100 deployments. Yeah.
And when you have those deployments or in the training, is there some way that you can observe Champ to determine whether or not Champ is on the scent of a specific scent?
It's a good guess. Yes, I mean, he does have some signs that he shows, and the main one is his tail. When his tail is up and high, he's tracking. There's no doubt. He's tracking. As his tail gets down lower, once he gets about straight to below, usually he'll just stop at that point and let me know. So I'm, yeah.
All right. All right, so you've told us now that Champ, as opposed to your other dog, is scent specific.
Yes, sir.
So if I understand what you're telling me, there is a specific identifiable scent that you put Champ on and ask Champ to follow that scent if there's a follow.
Yes, sir. So like, example, if you went missing, I like shoes. Shoes have a lot of odor to them, obviously. I would get that shoe from you. Hopefully no one else has touched it. If they have, then I would hopefully have that person there so that I could eliminate them. I would let Champ smell them. I put that article inside of a bag. Sometimes if it's just been left there, we just leave it there. Let him walk around and do his business to relax a little bit for 3 or 4 minutes whenever I get there, and then I present that article to him. So he's getting that scent is what I'm looking for, and then send him on his way.
All right, you mentioned that you let him relax and do his business, whatever that is. That's a routine that Champ follows?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right. With that background, I want to take you back to the early morning hours of May 28th, 2022. Were you asked to assist fellow deputies along with Champ in an attempt to follow a scent in the area around Lithia Pinecrest, somewhere around Kite Ridge?
Yes, sir.
All right, tell us about that. Tell us what information or articles you were provided. Walk us through the process after you received that request.
When I got there, I met with a lieutenant over at the scene who advised me that out on Lithia Pinecrest Road, someone, and I don't know who, but there was a drop of blood found, so that's where they needed me to go and start at. So I drove around Lithia Pinecrest, got out there, met with the deputy there, who advised where the blood was at. I believe crime scene come over right after that and took a portion of that, whatever they did, but they did leave me enough on the leaf that I could still see it. I retrieved Champ. I let him walk around and do his business for a minute. Walked him up, put his nose down by the leaf, and told him to check, which is what I always do whenever I'm giving him the scent article. His word is check. I'm asking him to smell it, and and then find him. Is the command to, all right, let's go find that scent.
And you mentioned that there was a leaf involved. Do you remember that maybe there was some sort of a business card or some other article there which identified the specific leaf that you were going to be working
Yes, sir.
with?
I believe it was a business card. It was a small piece of paper. I believe it was a business card, though.
All right, then you went through the process, Champ did his business, and you told Champ to check. Did Champ react to that scent in any way?
Yes, sir. He started to go, when I presented it to him, the leaf was in the ditch. There's a wood line, a lot of brush facing it. Obviously don't know which way the person who had the odor is gone. So I faced him towards the wood line, presented the blood leaf to him. He made a right-hand turn, went, 5-10 feet, turned around and started heading east. East on Lithia Pinecrest.
And as Champ went down Lithia Pinecrest, did Champ follow a straight line? Was there any deviation? Do you recall anything about that?
He did. He was steady, straight on it, tail up. At one point, he did go up towards Lithia Pinecrest. I believe, I can't remember it without seeing it again, but I believe he made a left turn and then just a circle and then came right back down to the ditch line and ran back east again, continued back east again.
All right, so then you described that there was a turn involved. Is there any way for you to determine, based upon your experience with Champ, what could have caused that deviation or that turn?
Either the person went up that way to the road and then came back down, or we're alongside the road, you've got your trees, it's a ditch with vehicles going by, you've got wind from those vehicles. Odors are very light, obviously, and that wind could be moving that odor around. It could be coming off of the wood line, pushing back up with vehicles going by. It could be sucking that wind back up there. Maybe at that point is where he just got it and he came up to the fringe of the odor and came back down. Or again, like I said, maybe the person went up to the road and then when they came back, that's why he came back down.
Okay, so you described Champ going down the ditch along Lithia Pinecrest.
Yes, sir.
Do you recall approximately how far Champ went along that general path before doing anything different?
Before he went up to the road or just okay.
The entire path. Tell us about the path.
Entire, maybe 50, 60 yards.
Okay,
Yeah.
and after those 60 yards or so, 50, 60 yards, what happened?
He cut up into the wood line, maybe 15 feet or so as I was behind him, because I usually run with a 21-foot lead, and I probably had 15 feet out on that tracking lead. When he cut up into the wood line there, I was probably about, like I said, 15 feet behind him, and then that's whenever I saw what I believe to be blood all on the side of a tree. It'd be on the west side of the tree. At that point, I held Champ up, and didn't let him go any further. He was kind of out of my sight and then came back into my sight because he was already up in the woods about 15 feet from me. I pulled him back out at that point.
And why did you pull Champ out at that point?
With that amount of what I believed to be blood there, and then the other canine handler that was running with me, he found another spot of blood, we believe to be blood, on the other side of the tree, to be on the east side of the tree. With that amount, I felt pretty certain that the person that was losing that blood was nearby. Champ is not an apprehension dog. Champ has no way to defend himself, and I don't send him in on somebody who might be armed or who's gonna hurt him or anything like that, so I stopped him. Pulled him out, and Deputy Hall was following in his patrol vehicle, which he's also a canine handler. I pulled Champ out and asked Kalen, Deputy Hall, at that point if he would get his patrol dog, which is an apprehension dog, and come down and let him finish from that point on, and obviously unless we got something different that we needed the bloodhound for again.
Okay, so just to be clear, when you went out to that scene or sometime thereafter, another canine handler was also at the scene, is that correct?
Yes, sir. There was three of us. Deputy Hall and Deputy Caban, who was actually walking with me and found the blood on the other side.
So the decision was made first to deploy Champ before any other dog?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right, after you explained to us that after you pulled Champ back after making the observations, and first of all, can you give us an idea of the general proximity of those suspected red spots or blood in relation to the woods, the tree line that you're talking about?
The tree that I saw was right at the edge, maybe 8 to 10 feet in. Not far. It was right at the edge is where that tree was at.
Were there other deputies in addition to the canine handlers which were also in that same area while you were doing your work?
Yes, sir. There was one other deputy, and I apologize, I don't remember his name, but he was there. There was another patrol unit there.
All right, and we're at the point now where you pull Champ back. Mm-hmm. You're not going to let Champ in that area, in the wooded area. Do you recall whether there was any police radio traffic or communication with any other aspects or parts of the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office investigative team that reacted and was participating in the investigation at that point?
At that point, I believe I'm the one who initiated it. I'd have to listen to it again, but I called aviation to come over and check that wood line to see if they had any hot spots, if they could see anything in there. Obviously, before we go sending our people in or sending the dogs in, just to give us a heads up. And they advised when they got there that they saw a small heat signature just inside the wood line from where I was standing at, which, guesstimation probably 40, 50 feet from where I was standing.
Okay. All right, so you're talking about a heat signature, and I'll get into another deputy with that, but it's your understanding that the Air Service is equipped with equipment that could possibly assist in identifying heat areas.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
All right, and do you recall whether or not Air Service complied or answered that request?
Yes, sir, they did. Like I said, they notified us that they saw a small hot spot there. They couldn't, from what I remember, they couldn't identify it, but again, it's very heavily wooded right there, a lot of bushes, so I'm sure that inhibits them a little bit. But
do you, Deputy Hall's dog then took over, is that correct?
Yes, sir. I put Champ away, and then Deputy Hall got curfew out.
Do you recall whether anyone was apprehended in the vicinity of that area of the suspected hotspot?
Yes, sir. I did not go in to the woods with them. I stayed on the outside in the ditch line. I believe it was Deputy Caban and Deputy Hall that went in there. I don't remember if the other deputy went in with them or not. They weren't in the wood line for 30 seconds, and they made contact with someone who was laying in the grass inside that wood line.
So were you there when that happened?
I was outside. I wasn't there to see it when it happened, but I was 30, 40 feet away.
At some point, were you close enough to identify the person that was apprehended from those?
When I was standing there, they walked this person out, and that's whenever I first observed them, yes.
And can you identify that person?
Yes, sir. I mean,
Is the person that was apprehended in the courtroom today?
yes, sir, I believe so.
Okay. Would you point to him and describe his location or his clothing so that we can all be clear as to who you're referring to?
There's 3 people that are facing me at that desk. He's the one in the center.
Okay, there it is. Identified the defendant, who, by the way, lost a lot of weight. Doesn't look like he did in his mugshot. We'll get a break in here and get you back for more live testimony right after this. Stay with us.
Nature's Bounty.
Welcome back. Another busy Tuesday here, Court TV. Testimony underway in the math teacher murder trial for Matthew Terry in Tampa, Florida. He's accused of first-degree murder for allegedly stabbing his girlfriend, an elementary school teacher by the name of Kay Baker, after a domestic dispute. 47-year-old Terry faces Florida's death penalty if he is convicted and if this death-qualified jury recommends death at the end of the day. On the stand now is Deputy Brian Polito. He is a K-9 handler, and yeah, it's interesting to listen to him, but we want to see his dog. And right now they're showing Champ in action. Let's watch.
Was that something coming up? Come here, I got a phone number right here on the side of the street, too. Look, right here. Yep. Looking around here. Hey, Kevin, phone, where you at? Lot of blood. Who's running the show over there at the front? We started tracking with the hound, maybe 100 yards with that. On the right-hand side, we got a lot of blood over here. Just let you know what we got so far. We get somebody down here on one person. Good job, Chambers. See this tree right here? This big oak tree, big oak tree, on the other side of it, there's just as much blood. That's what I'm thinking. This is all starting to happen now behind us. What's that? No, because it's going to distract them, honestly. this, I think he went back up inside. I bet he's right inside there somewhere.
Okay, Deputy, earlier on in that video, there was some traffic, or there's some conversation. Was a portion of that traffic or conversation with the air service above?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I had asked if they had called aviation yet, and then they said yes.
All right. I don't think you have any other questions. Thank you very much, Deputy Police.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, there's additional video.
That's right.
No objection.
Okay. Was this part of the, it's already admitted?
It is.
Okay.
All right, that concludes the video. I have no further questions, Deputy Police. I'll pass this to Sean.
Cross-examination?
Good morning, Deputy.
Good morning.
K-9 Champ can only track the one scent that you have him sniff, right?
That's what I'm asking him to.
So if
Yes.
there was a second or a third person who had been going through those same woods, he wouldn't be tracking that because you wouldn't have had him sniff their blood or any of their scent, right?
He shouldn't be.
Okay. And he didn't here. He only tracked the one scent of the blood that you had him sniff, right?
To my knowledge, he led me from one blood spot to the next.
Okay. Now, once you got to that large amount of blood, there was enough on two separate spots that you actually thought we might be near somebody, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's why you pulled out Champ, for his
Yes,
own safety, because you don't know what you're going to run into, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I know you were off putting Champ away, but you did, in fact, see Matthew Terry being taken out at some point, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you saw that he actually had to be sort of held up by another deputy and walked out, right?
Yes, ma'am.
He had blood on him.
What I believe to be blood. Yes, ma'am.
He was injured.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And he was staggering and had to be helped to the ground by that other deputy, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Could I just have a moment, Your Honor?
Absolutely.
One other question for you, just because in the video it looks like it was bright and well lit. This was very dark, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You couldn't even see feet in front of you, right?
Well, there are some street lights down there, so it's a little bit illuminated, but it's not bright like in this courtroom at all.
Okay. And it was dark enough that you couldn't see the person who ended up being Matthew Terry just feet in front of you when you had Champ out there, right?
Correct, because that was way off the road in the woods, and there are no lights inside there. And you could see by the video where my flashlight was actually shining at, right
Sure.
there. That's as far as I could see.
And you all the officers out there had to use flashlights to try to get some illumination in those woods.
Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned the roadway, Lithia Pinecrest. That is a large, well-traveled road, right?
It's a 2-lane road, and yeah, it's pretty heavily traveled.
Thank you. Nothing
ma'am.
further.
Redirect?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Excused? Released, I mean? Released. And defense
All right,
attorney?
first witness in the books, the dog handler, and video of Champ doing his thing.